Alright, so I'm gonna start this video off with a little disclaimer.
This did happen. If anybody says this is fake, I will literally murder them.
Alright, so Connor, do you want to hear the story about the dumbest argument I've ever had? Alright, it all happened when I was sitting here doing my thing. I'm talking about, I'm writing my about me. I write, I'm an epic gamer kid who hates Fortnite. And this dude was like, how are you a gamer if you don't play Fortnite? And I'm like, you don't have to play Fortnite to be a gamer. And then I listed a bunch of games. I think I listed, I listed a lot, okay? And then he's like, yeah, but none of those are popular on Twitch. And I'm like, you don't need to stream games to be a Twitch streamer, right? And and he's like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, the definition of gamer is a person who plays video games. Tell me that is not true. They're like, no, a definition of gamer is someone who live streams video games. And I'm like, are you actually stupid? So we get in this long discussion where it's literally just the same thing back and forth. So I'm just like, can you actually listen to me, dude? You do not understand a single thing. The definition of gamer is not somebody who streams games. If you're a gamer, the only game you're allowed to play is Fortnite. That is not true. You can play other games too. You don't have to play Fortnite. I hate Fortnite, and I'm still like, oh, I just forgot what I was gonna say, because Alright, so Connor, this sounds like a pretty normal argument so far, right? Where he's being an idiot and I'm being smart. But that's not all. We have a lot of other claims to go over here. Basically, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. So basically, after that, they're like, they bust something out. Like, I think I told them the definition of video game, and then they're like, what about a game like Wii Sports or whatever? Does that count as being a gamer? I'm like, yeah. And then out of nowhere, he's like, being a gamer is playing a game is a game on a console or a phone. And at the time, I literally just ignored the part that he said that PC games don't count as video games. I ignored that. I wasn't listening close enough. But so I heard that, and then he's like, well, yeah, but what about games like Wii Sports and stuff? Do those count as video games? And do you count as a gamer if you play those? And I'm like, yeah, they're video games. And then he's like, no, the Wii and Wii U aren't consoles. And I'm like, the Wii and Wii U are consoles. They're like, no. If you look it up on the internet, it says it's not console. I just searched up Wii. Hey, look. The Wii is a home video game console released by Nintendo on November 19th, 2006. Wii U, let's see. They also said that's not a video game. That's not a console. The Wii U is the first Nintendo console to support HD graphics. Bam. Completed. You have been proven wrong. I couldn't look this up in class because T-shirt. But so this made me mad because I have a Wii, and I've had a Wii for a long time, and I know that those are consoles. I know for a fact that those are consoles. And okay, after that, after we get in an argument about that, I tell him the definition of console. They this is the main root of our entire argument. I tell him the definition of console. Connor, you want to guess what he says? Guess.
What?
Guess now. Alright. You want to know what he says? Okay.
I don't know.
He says this. He says, so technically a phone is a console, right? And I'm like, no, a console is its primary function. What its primary reason of creation is to play video games. And he's like, yeah, so a console. I mean, so a phone. And I'm like, no! Alright, so basically, next, what happened on the agenda, he's like, oh yeah, let me just think about this real quick. No, actually, a sim without a SIM card is a console. And I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, it is, because its primary function is not to play video games. And he's like, it can't do anything else. And I'm like, it could. And I'm like, yeah, it can. He's like, oh yeah, this one. I'm like, I don't know, maybe watch videos on YouTube, watch movies, play non-online games, which I guess counts as his like console dilemma. But I'm like, oh yeah, you can also text, you can FaceTime people, you can use Discord, you can use Skype. You can do anything you can on a normal iPhone. You can browse the internet.
Except you can't call people.
Well, oh no, you can call people, because if you pay for Skype calls, then you can call people on Skype. Bam! Problem solved. You don't even need a SIM card. But anyway, that's a completely different discussion. So we have this long argument about how a phone cannot be a console. And then he busts out the saying,
oh yeah, but a phone can't do anything without a SIM card, and while it's not connected to Wi-Fi.
And I'm like, yeah, it can. It can play offline games, like voodoo games, like, I don't know, Hold.io or Beaver.io. He's like, no, those are online. I'm like, no, those are offline. I play on my iPad all the time when in car rides. And he's like, oh, by the way, this is not sponsored. I'm just listing off games that I can think of off the top of my head. And he's like, yeah, because your iPad has a hidden SIM card that nobody knows about. And I'm like, no, my iPad does not have a hidden SIM card that nobody knows about. That is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. And he's like, yeah, but it only works. It only works while you're playing multiplayer games. Therefore, it's a console. I'm like, no. Number one, iPads do not have hidden SIM cards. They can have SIM cards built inside of them if you pay the extra. Let me see what it is right now. Apple.com/iPad. You know, Apple, I would like to order an iPad, please. Let's see how much it costs to buy yeah. It costs an extra $200. So let's say you do get the extra $200 thing. Sure, you have a SIM card built in. It's not a hidden SIM card, and you can at least watch YouTube with it. Okay, there is no hidden SIM card on your iPad, dude. If you think that you were actually stupid, voodoo games, when they're offline, you don't play against other people, you play against the computer. And they're like, no, it's not smart enough to do that. And I'm like, yes, it is. no, I know how to program. It's not basic. And I'm like, it is basic. He's like, oh yeah? What proof do you have? I'm like, I code Discord bots for people. And he's like, sure you do. And then, get this. He asks all of his friends. So he goes to the bathroom. And this, 10 million quotes on the word bathroom. And his friends also need to go to the bathroom. They spend 5 minutes in the bathroom. I bet you. I bet they were just talking about how how they're gonna ask them. He's gonna ask them, and they're gonna be like, he's gonna ask them the question, like, is a phone a console or whatever, and they're gonna be like, because they, because they're talking about that. Sorry, I'm drinking water. Whew. And so, at this point, I want to end the argument so badly that I'm willing to cling on to anything to end the argument. And we're literally, at this point, we're yelling at each other. We are yelling at the top of our lungs at each other. And then my teacher just comes along. She's like, hey, can you guys stop talking right now? We're sort of busy. And I'm like, does it look like we're having a peaceful conversation? So trying so hard to end the argument. I am so desperate at this point. My friend here sees how desperate I am. And he was like, you know what? I'm just going to send you a link to his YouTube channel. This will all be over then, right? Because that's a proof he's a gamer and everything. And I'm like, it ends the argument? Sure. Next, no, that's a story for a different video about that. Because that still isn't over. It still happens. Hope it's not, but it is. Alright. Now that I'm done with my rant, that was a big epic rant. I'm going to end this video now. Bye.